What's up, THS? I'm Mrs. Smith from the library. Our theme this week is She Blinded Me with Science Fiction, and these are my top three. Our books for this week examine a question that I love to spend way too much time thinking about, and that is, what if things got really weird? Now, I realize that's a bold question to ask in 2020, but never mind that. Let's talk dystopian hypotheticals, interplanetary travel, and some ethically questionable technology, shall we? I'll get things started with a banger from the Battle of the Books archive. This one is Scythe by Neal Shusterman. Two young people, a wise yet fearless girl and a tough but likely troubled young man, must work together to accomplish a task that will challenge both their mental and physical strength. Ultimately, this task they have to accomplish will pit one of them against the other. And also, they're probably in love. It's a recipe for Katniss and Peeta, Kylo Ren and Rey, but our star-crossed pair in Scythe are Citra and Rowan. Citra and Rowan live in a future world where science and medicine have conquered all disease and even death itself. And humans can live indefinitely and reset their age to the prime of their life however many times they want to. And this leaves population control in the hands of the Scythes. The Scythe is part of an elite group who have been given the authority to glean humans, aka kill folks. Citra and Rowan are both chosen to apprentice for the Scythedom, but only one of them will join the ranks of the other Scythes after their training. They will select that winner because he or she has successfully gleaned the other candidate. This is a really good book, and just when you think that you've got figured out what's going to happen next, Neal Shusterman yanks the rug out from underneath you in ways that make you want to stay up all night and finish the book, which you should do so that you can read the sequel, The Thunderhead, which was even better. Scythe is book number 1 in the arc of the Scythe trilogy, and it is book number 3 for our list of She Blinded Me with Science Fiction. How much money would be enough for you to volunteer for a space mission that sends you to another planet to mine a secret substance? How about $50,000? Or maybe $50,000 a month, every month for the rest of your life? Emmett Atwater has already signed on the dotted line, and it's the setup for book number 2. This is Nyxia by Scott Reintgen. Technology giant corporation Babel Communications has discovered a habitable planet that they've named Eden. Now, our introduction to this world is through the eyes of a black teenager from Detroit named Emmett. And he has been recruited by Babel to go on this mission to Eden to harvest this native substance called Nyxia. Now, the paycheck is a big deal. $50,000 a month, every month for the rest of your life. That's huge. But we quickly find out that Emmett is here for the health benefits. Recruits will also have free access and access for their entire family to the most advanced, the most effective medical treatments available. And that's critical for Emmett because his mom is very sick. By the end of the first chapter, we learn that there are 10 recruits, but only 8 of them will be chosen to get on board the Genesis 11 that's being sent to Eden to harvest Nyxia. The other 2 recruits will be sent home with severance pay. You might be asking yourself, Genesis 11, Eden, Babel, that's a lot of biblical allusions. What's that about? Or maybe you're curious about that $50,000 a month payday. Seems kind of steep for a mission that's supposedly harmless and simple enough that teenagers can do it. And wait a second, you said that you were sending teenagers to space to mine this secret substance? Why teenagers? And should teenagers be signing legally binding contracts? These are all great questions and questions that can best be addressed by reading Nyxia for yourself. Our last pick for this week is another gem that I discovered through Project Lit. On September 5th, 2017, Rufus and Mateo both receive a call from Deathcast indicating that in the next 24 hours, they will each be dead. And no, the title of this book is not a trick. They both die at the end. It's by Adam Silvera. They Both Die at the End is the story of two kids, Rufus and Mateo. Let me tell you about Rufus first. Rufus is Cuban American. He's 17. He likes riding his bike and taking photos for the gram. He spends most of his time with the group of friends that refer to themselves as the Plutos. This is a group of kids who met each other in foster care. Rufus is bold and brave and a little wild, and he's a runner. By that, I mean whenever he comes face to face with something that causes a problem for him or reminds him of pain and trauma from his past, he just kind of runs away. Mateo, on the other hand, is trapped. He spends most of his life in his room, burdened by the effects of his anxiety and his OCD. And the fact that he is constantly worrying about the next bad thing that's going to happen to him. Living in seclusion has cost him friendships, experiences, and relationships. It's something that he's aware of, but essentially powerless to overcome on his own. Deathcast, the app that alerts someone on their last day, allows for some pretty trippy stuff. So, for instance, you can write and publish your own obituary and choose your epitaph and headstone. You can also plan and attend your own funeral and say goodbye, your last goodbyes to your loved ones. But there is another piece of technology in this story called the Last Friend app. And that connects you with a compatible stranger who is also experiencing their last day on Earth. And that's how Rufus and Mateo meet in this story. Now, neither of them knows how much time they have left on Earth, but they have decided to spend it together. And so if that sounds interesting to you and you want to know how their last day ends up, you should check out Adam Silvera's They Both Die at the End. So it's good to have you back here in the building with us. I wanted to take a few moments to remind you of the process of getting books delivered to you in your homeroom. If you already know what you'd like to read, I recommend that you use the Google request form. After providing your email address, name, and your advocacy teacher, you'll just type in the title or author of the book that you'd like to check out, or choose from the list of books from that week's video. If you'd like to look around a bit more before you make your selection, click the link for Destiny Discover. From here, you can see the entire catalog of every book in our library. The dashboard will show you books that have been recently added to the inventory, a list of our most popular titles. You can choose to browse by topic or genre, and there are specially curated lists of books grouped by theme, and you can dig through the collections at the bottom of the page to find those. I will be coming around to your homeroom classes to deliver your books and pick up any book returns that you've dropped off to the book bin in your classroom. I hope you all have a beautiful week. I'll be back next Monday with more book talks for you from our library. Take care. Bye-bye.